All right, so today went pretty well. There are some things here and there that I do want to tweak going into next week. So for one, I noticed when I came in, I was a little bit more fatigued than I would have liked to be. And I noticed it especially with squats, because like the weight felt pretty light the entire time, but I could tell like it was just like it just felt hard. It was like I could tell that I had a lot more, but I also knew that if I went for it, it wasn't going to happen because my fatigue wouldn't have allowed me to actually push uh, through that. So, what I'm going to do next week, I'm just going to cut the intensity for bicep curls, hamstring curls, and I think it was something else, maybe. I'll have to check my sheets. Uh, but yeah, and for bench, that went pretty well. Only thing with that is I kept hitting the rack, like from rep 2 to 5. I think I hit the rack every single time. So just want to lock in the execution a little bit on that. Um, Definitely felt easy though. Really, the only reason it moved a little slower is because I was trying to be aware of where my hands were going, and I couldn't really push as hard as I wanted to. Um, so yeah, which that is to be expected because I did a pretty drastic change in my technique. So I tried to really focus on my thoracic, my upper back arch instead of my lower back, because I realized that my touch point is lower than I want it to be, and uh, it's I do think that's actually what's been making it harder to actually get into my arms. So I did a really good job of it on my first secondary day, but my tertiary and today, like I just really couldn't do what I wanted. Today was better than the tertiary, but it was worse than I would have liked. So I just need to get some more experience with that, figure out figure out what I'm supposed to do and what I can do to help myself get in that better position. Um, I also tried the bulldog grip, which that felt pretty good. So the bulldog grip, along with the upper back arch, it makes it a lot harder to unrack the weights. So last week I was getting up to 365 for my unracks, but today I could barely do 315. But at the same time, the reps are easier. So, I just need to actually figure out uh, how to perfect that unrack, which, just experience. This is my first week doing it. So, yeah, and then for deadlift went well. I could tell that in my warm-ups, I was starting to get lightheaded because since today is an SBD, I have a lot of volume before I get into my actual deadlifts. And I think I already said I was getting lightheaded. But yeah, so I'm just probably gonna try maybe bring a couple snacks in uh for today, or just add some, like a couple flavor packets to my water to get some more electrolytes in. Not really sure. Um, but yeah, everything. moved really well. I'd honestly say today was probably about peak strength. I really don't know because it was it was 5 reps. Uh, so it's a little bit harder to tell because I think peak strength would be I'd need to get 8 or 9 reps, which I don't think I don't doubt that I could, but at the same time, I really don't know. Same thing for bench. It was easy, but I don't know how many more I could have done. And for squats, probably could have gotten 2. It felt like an RP10, but I know for sure I could have gotten an extra 2. Uh, so um, also I do think for my deadlifts, they were a bit worse because I wanted to try. I did a mix between conventional and sumo on my secondary, so I have a little bit less, excuse me, sumo volume in for this week. So yeah, just next week, do those 2 extra sets. Everything's gonna feel better. Um, and yeah, I think that's it. RDLs felt strong. So I try to go for an 11th rep, but my fatigue just wouldn't let me grind out. So yeah, definitely gonna keep an eye on that because I knew I knew that I was definitely going too heavy for my hamstring curls, but I was like, I mean, since I can recover, it's not that big of a deal. But now I'm knowing that I can't recover, and the reason I'm like pointing towards hamstring curls is because I could feel kind of the start of a tickle in my left hamstring, which that does happen when they're starting to get fatigued. And I mean, my biceps do feel fine, but uh, also since I'm probably not going to record the day tomorrow, I want to say so. Since I've made this day an SBD, I don't have any compact or I don't have any main lifts for my second primary day. So what I did is I made that or turned it into a hypertrophy. So I took my squat accessory off of this day, added in an extra set, which now that I think of it, could probably take that out, um, which would help with fatigue. And then, yeah, just split squats, upper upper chest and inclines, uh, some single arm rows, lats, lateral raises, and bicep curls. So it's pretty much just an upper body day, upper body hypertrophy with some quads, which felt pretty good because I could tell on that day I did have about the same fatigue that I would be holding on to for my bench primaries. But at the same time, I was, you know, about pretty close to peak. So I wanted to make sure I was actually fatiguing myself enough to need those 2 extra recovery days, which I do think I did, or no, I did a little bit too much. So gonna pull that back a little bit, along with hamstring curls, and I think that's gonna feel pretty good, and that's gonna be it.